I promise you, the coaches will coach better in order because they know they're going to get recognition. You're going to be on national TV. They have all the reason to come in and watch the Cowboys and wax their ass. So I'm telling you right now, you better play like you're playing the Super Bowl and do not give up. And if there's anybody that's ready to play on this team, that's why you went to training camp. You took your ass to training camp to make the football team so you can play. So get your ass out there on the field and play. And stop playing around with, I don't know if he should play. Well, hell, if he on the team, he better get his ass out there and play.
What is up, Cowboys Nation? You see how I'm doing a little double duty, man, getting things rolling. Hope everything's going good. As the preseason's kind of getting started, so we're getting that tempo going. We got training camp going. We got all that kind of good stuff. So before we get this thing, headed in the right direction or wrong direction, depending on what you're reading, make sure if you guys are hopping in, man, hit that like, hit that subscribe, little thumbs up. You know, it never hurts. Don't cost you nothing, and it definitely helps us out. So before we get rolling, Kelly, man, what's going on, man? I know you got your little Twitter battles. I always enjoy watching it. You didn't get suspended or none, but I think you might have got someone suspended.
First of all, what's up to everybody in the chat? Vince, Cuts, Chris, Ultra, Traveling Random. We got everybody showing up here in the chat. We got about 38 people right now. So just what's up to everybody there. But I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good, feeling good, man. I got Ultra said, is Kelly sober? I'm sober right now. I am actually sober. I might change that here in an hour or so. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, man, just little Twitter battles. It's that preseason thing. So I got to get me warmed up a little bit. I had some Eagles fans coming in and, I had to proceed to, do what I do. And then, I haven't learned your lesson yet. I haven't learned your lesson. Here's the thing, man. There are a couple of things that I do good, and one of them is talking shit. I feel like I came out of the womb ready to talk shit. I feel like I do it very well. I'm quick-witted. I'm quick with the comebacks. It doesn't take me long to hit somebody with something. I'm very creative with my words. So when people come at me and then I make them look like a complete idiot and a fool, I understand why it makes them rage tweet and they're pounding the the keyboards, and I understand it. I get it. But, I keep trying to tell people, if you're not like that, all you got to do is keep it simple, keep it respectful. We can disagree, but as soon as you start saying things and throwing insults, calling me fat, ugly, different shit, like I'm going to come after you, and the gloves are going to come off, and when the gloves come off, we all know what happens. So yeah, that dude, I think he's probably right now rage pounding into his pillow, with a picture of my face on it or something at this point. But I'm just getting warmed up, man. The season ain't even started yet, and I feel like I'm already in mid-season form.
Mid-season. That's the way we got to be. Mid-season form. We got some games going on. Everything's going good. Now, your boy, I'm getting ready to head down to the Hard Rock, so I'm going to need you guys in the chat as you're rolling in. I just need two things. I need red or black, because I'm going down. It's my brother's birthday, so we're staying at the Hard Rock Casino down in Fort Lauderdale. I'm gonna be a heavy hitter here. I've been saving my money. I've been doing a little stuff. I'm gonna drop some major coin on red or black. 50-50. It's a little less than 50-50 because you can get the double zero and the zero. That kind of screws it up. But I need to know what's the color to play. Now, my numbers I play are 8, 22, and 33. All three of them are black. So my mind says, you know what, you got to play black, man. You never go wrong.
I don't remember that movie. I don't remember the movie, but I just remember it was Wesley Snipes, and he said that. He says, "Always bet black."
Always bet. Yeah, I remember that.
Always bet black.
I think wasn't that one of those movies back in the day? I can't remember, but yeah. So I've got to I got to see, and it's going to be recorded. So you guys are going to be able to get it. Not going to be able to do it live because the casino will throw me out. But we're going to try and sneak a video in, and hopefully you're going to see tears of joy and not tears of sorrow. Because if I lose, I'll probably go in the fetal position and be in the middle of the casino crying. So we'll see what happens. But it's we're going to have some fun.
Now that you mention that and you say that, it's funny because they actually I might have to join you in spirit. They just opened up they just opened up a casino here in Omaha. So Nebraska has never had legalized gambling. They just legalized gambling like a year ago, but obviously they had to build a casino. So they've got this casino built. It had been in the works for a little bit already. They were already kind of building this thing, and they got the casino. The grand opening was Sunday. There's a grand opening. I did not go to the grand opening, but I hit the casino this weekend, man, because and it's literally not but maybe 10 minutes up the street from me. So that's dangerous. It's a little dangerous that it's that close to where I'm at, but we'll see if I can maybe win some money. Hopefully we can both win some money.
This is part of the cuts. I'm trying to raise tailgate money, so we're either gonna have a fiesta and we're gonna be hitting it hard with the liquor, or we're gonna be having beanie weenies and Old Milwaukee. So I'm taking the chance. I believe in the Cowboys. I believe in some karma. Get some good things going. So it's gonna be a lot of fun, man. It's gonna be great. And one other thing, you guys see in the upper corner, you see that QR code. We're partnered with a great app. It's called Autograph. It's a sports app. It follows your favorite teams. Doesn't have to be the Cowboys. It can be college, pro, baseball, hockey, basketball. It's an opportunity for you guys to get rewarded for your fandom. And what it does is it pulls articles, all that kind of stuff in. So go to cowboyscave.com. We made it easy for you. Go to cowboyscave.com. You'll see the header right on the homepage. You click that link. It takes you right there. You download it. We are halfway to our first goal. We're going to be on that. We're going to be on that app. Cowboys Cave is going to be represented. So we want to show them the power of the cave, and you guys can be able to do it. So make sure at some point you guys go to cowboyscave.com, download the app. Very easy to do, and we definitely appreciate it. And it's free. It's free, right?
It's free. Yeah. Don't cost nothing. I went to it today, popped in the name Mike Tag, and got to get the reference. Want to make sure you get the credit, and then man, we popped right in that thing and checked it out, perused around. It's a good little app, man. I mean, you got honestly what it is everything from the sport that you want to follow, the teams that you want to follow, it's right there, man. You pick your favorite teams, and then boom, it's right there. Cowboys news, there was podcasts, there was they'll have the Cowboys Cave podcast stuff material on there. But we got all kinds of stuff. There's podcasts, and then you can click over to articles and find out news about your team. They have training camp news, all the latest news. I'm sure if you click on there right now, you'll find the latest of news, which I think we're going to start to show off with it. We're going to start to show off with the Jerry CD thing.
Look who
we got here. Is that you, Lockhart?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to answer. Yeah, we'll talk to him afterwards. Yeah, I've got some stuff I wanted to talk to you about, but we're not going to get into that yet. We're going to get into, I was enjoying my day. I'm having a nice time, and I'm watching some of the scrimmage. I'm look at your boys working, taking notes, looking at some of the different videos and feeds. And then I see this thing pop up. Now, I mean, it can't be this. I mean, he can't be this stupid. I hope not. I mean, for him to say, there's no urgency to get CD set, I just don't understand it. And then CD's reply. I mean, hopefully you saw that, Kelly. That's what I've got on there. CD replies, with laughing. I mean, I hope we're not going down a path that we don't need to go down. And he can't be this stupid, right? Can't be.
I would hope not. And the fact that CD saw it, and then he put LOL on there, retweeted it with an LOL. I don't know, man. I really don't know how to read that, but I mean, I'm hoping that CD Lamb's not reading that as like that's basically like a discredit to him, like that we don't need CD Lamb because we need CD Lamb on this team. And I just think it's just more of the tone deaf, Jerry that we've seen in this offseason, man. He's just saying a bunch of dumb shit. And I mean, he's just, I don't know, man. It's almost like when you got to sit down and have that talk with your grandpa and take away the keys from him and tell him, sorry, grandpa, you can't drive the car no more, man. You're getting a little too old. And I mean, and I'm not saying that in a joking matter. I'm saying that as if I've listened to Jerry talk several times this year, and there's a lot of times that dude don't barely sound coherent. And it just don't. And some of the shit that he says, you're just sitting there going like, wait, what? Like Jerry's always been outlandish. He's always been somebody that'll say some sensationalized stuff. He's always someone that'll say some things and people get sound bites from it. We all know that, right? But they're usually like quirky little things like, we're circumcising a mosquito here, or, some shit like that. Some of the things he's saying now are just like, Jerry, did you just hear yourself? I mean, did you hear what you said just now? Because, I mean, what is the point of saying that
let's put some context to it, because our man DMC, I want to give him credit, because I mean, he said that the question was phrased, is there a sense of urgency as preseason begins to get something done? And then Jerry gave his response. Now, any other GM would probably say, hey, we're working through the deal, we're very confident we're going to get it done. And, we feel urgency, but we don't feel the urgency, however way you want to phrase it. But you don't want to basically, because it comes off bad to CD, right? And it comes off, well, we don't really care if we get it done now, get it done later. Now he's getting fined. It's just the wording that Jerry said. He could have just kind of took a high road of it, just like Dak Prescott does, right? Talk for like 3 minutes and don't say nothing, or Derek Jeter did that well too.
I mean, Mike, here's the perfect thing to that, man, because I get it that what we're reading, it's out of context. But if you're Jerry Jones, you say, I wouldn't necessarily say that there's urgency to get a deal done before preseason, but obviously we want to have our number one receiver and what we believe to be one of the number one receivers in the NFL on this roster come week 1 for this team. And we're working to get a deal done. Could have phrased it exactly like that. I mean, I'm just saying words matter, context matters too, but I don't know. I don't like it. It just bad.
Yeah. And Ultra, I mean, after the Green Bay loss, you don't blame Jerry. Look, here's the deal. I've always said it. Do whatever you want, but then trade them in the offseason. I mean, you ain't gonna do nothing now. I mean, I don't know what the point of it is, and they're gonna get the deal done. Jerry Jones is a businessman, and it's an 88, and they're not gonna trade. They're not. I mean, this ain't Antonio Bryant that is there. It is CeeDee Lamb, and he's at entering really the prime of his career, and there's just no way that they would that this is gonna happen. So it's gonna get done. It's just frustrating that they've got to kind of, drag this thing through the mud a little bit. It's just, you don't see, I hate it because you saw the deals getting done with the extension with Tyreek. You saw Philly get their stuff done. You saw all these other receivers and players, they just get their stuff done. And I know Ed Werder took some heat, and he's kind of hot and cold depending on, what day you like reading this stuff. But, he said, the Cowboys kind of put themselves in these positions because they don't attack it early, right? They drag it out, they wait, and the price never goes down. It always goes up. And, maybe they put themselves in this position. I like to give them the benefit of the doubt. Like I said, I can't see that these are billionaires. They can't be that stupid. Right? It can't be.
You'd like to think so, but, Jerry Jones continues to kind of make himself look that way. And, and it's not a matter for me. It's not a matter of if they will or won't sign CD. It's just the optics of it right now. I just feel like the Cowboys for the last couple of years have just looked like a team that's just a rudderless ship. Honestly, it's just kind of like everybody looks at us like, hey, well, they're this, we're kind of a joke because, the way that the Cowboys continue to hand these contract situations. Nobody else in the NFL, everybody has contract negotiations and they have things where you got to kind of figure some things out. But just look at the offseason like as a whole. Start all the way back with the all in and the fact that on the first.
Did I lose you? Did we lose you, Kelly? I don't know if we lost Kelly. Can you guys see Kelly or am I talking all by myself? Help me out.
I could still see myself. Can you hear me?
You kind of froze. Do you guys see Kelly frozen or is it me? Evan Holt up. There you go. You're back in it. Sorry. Okay. You're good. Maybe it was me.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what happened, but I just they said he's there.
Yeah, it could have been me. Could have been me.
Okay, so that's all right. But anyway, I'm just saying like everything about, just everything about the entire offseason. It just kind of all rubs you wrong and just leaves a sour taste in your mouth.
Well, it's just like, it's just like why. I mean, that's my whole thing with the Cowboys, and I get the easy thing is, well, they stay in the news and that's what they want to do, but it's like, man, I just want to focus on football. I just want to focus on this team. I think this team is talented. I think that if you're watching a little bit of that scrimmage, and yes, it's practice, so let's pump the brakes on all this kind of stuff, but looking into some of the scrimmage and some of the plays and some of the things that were going on, it seemed like in my notes and give credit to a lot of the people on Twitter, all the ones that were kind of giving us updates and all that kind of stuff, man. It helps a lot. So, I've seen a few tweets, the Tolbert wide receiver 3 is his to lose. Pretty much he's got it. John Stevens Jr., we talked about, he's looking better and better. Could he take the tight end 2 spot? Him and Dak seem to be really in sync, and he's making plays. Hoffman looks like the early lead in center. Carson's still playing very well, impressing as a rookie in the cornerback. The O-line struggled at times on the tackles and also some interior, and Jared Verse, their first-round pick, seemed to have his way with some of our offensive line. Nice little fight there. You love to see some fights.
I love training camp fights, man.
Our defense, from everything that I've read, you guys help us out too. You guys see all this stuff. Played well. Dak looked good. Brandon Cooks looked good. So, I mean, kind of a, it's a scrimmage, but it's a controlled scrimmage. So it's not a lot of hitting or anything like that, but except the fight that you just saw. But what did you see? And you guys in the chat, what was your kind of thoughts on it?
I mean, mine was just that early on, I really like seeing, I think Jalen Tolbert step up and grab the reins when, let's face it, man, we've talked about, hey, is this going to happen for him? And then we're like, if it's going to, this year needs to be the year. And he is off to a really great start in training camp. Him and Dak got a good rapport going on. What I really like, and I posted this the other day, I really like the connection between Dak and Cooks right now. It seems like anytime he wants to go to Brandon Cooks right now, he's able to go that way. So when you talk about a receiver in CeeDee Lamb who is going to command the kind of attention he will all year this year, the game plan when you go into play the Cowboys is going to be stop CeeDee Lamb. Stop 88, right? Because if you can do that, I feel like as a defensive coordinator, you're probably going to feel like you got a good chance at winning if you can shut him down. But if Brandon Cooks is clicking like he is right now, where, I mean, he's doing this against ones, and the best cornerback right now is more than likely going to be Diggs that's on him. And he's just toasting. Nobody can stay with him. He's toasting everybody. He's getting deep. He's getting underneath routes. Like, he's grabbing everything. So I'm loving the fact that Dak and Cooks are developing this chemistry very early, because I think it'll be there with CD when eventually he does get in. So I'm really liking this receiver crew, and it's something that we had talked about and kind of wondered about. Hey, how would it look without Michael Gallup? Who's going to step up, be the number 3? Do we have a solid number 4? And I mean, in all likely, I love what we have at receiver right now. Actually, it's one of my favorite positions. I think you've got Turpin behind there too, and then you've got the what's the guy's name that they got the 2? Is it the 2 first names? The other receiver, I'm struggling.
Yeah,
CBJ, something, Billy Johnson or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's looked pretty good. So you've got several guys back in that receiver crew that look like they're going to be pretty good. And then the defense, the way that Zimmer is disguising, and this is keep in mind, this training camp, right? I mean, so they're learning these new schemes, and obviously they're not showing everything. We're not seeing everything, but just early on, I think that's what the big thing that jumps out is the schemes that he has, the blitz schemes, how he's disguising them, how he's using Micah Parsons kind of in the role that a lot of people have talked about wanting to see him in, back to more of what he played his rookie year, a little bit more off the ball linebacker. You don't know if he's going to come in or if you don't know if he may drop back. And loving that from Zimmer, because I think that is just another key to this defense that could take them to the next level. And right now, I'm really liking what they're having, this joint practice. There was a couple of times where the defense, there were several guys back there, 2-3 guys that could have got this sack, on Stafford. And that's going against their ones. So just early on, I'm liking what I'm seeing. And even some of the players' excitement about how he's disguising these blitz packages, I think is going to be pretty big for the Cowboys. I'm starting to feel really good about this defense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the defense, and you see, and I've seen linebackers, in the chat a lot. The linebacker, you just see a difference there. There's no doubt about it. You hear the players talking about it, and obviously Ferguson, Tolbert, they're going to be big. But Jeff said a great thing, and you look at Cooks. He really didn't get going until later in the year, right?
It was later in the year, yeah.
And if they can get that production that they got from him later in the early part, and obviously you got CD, you got Tolbert, you got Ferguson, you got things going. The one, and it's going to take time. The offensive line is going to have to kind of gel together, right? They got to be a cohesive unit. So it doesn't surprise me that there were some struggles here and there with the offensive line. The running back situation, little bit, is it going to be kind of a Rico Zeke, maybe a 1-2 punch? I think we're still kind of, probably most fans are a little uneasy with the running back situation. So, it's kind of a mixed bag, but they're going to play Sunday, and, that'll be kind of, when the lights are shining bright, see how some of these guys perform. And, so really, going into that, and I apologize. I think Eugene's really trying to get a hold of me because my phone's been ringing the whole time. So I don't know if I should step away and give him a call, or hopefully everything's all right. But maybe I'll let you get going. But kind of preseason, the theme is preseason game Sunday. What are you hoping to see? And really in the chat, what are you guys wanting to see? I'll excuse myself for a minute. I'll be right back.
All right. Well, for me, preseason is what I'm going to look forward to is a couple of things. One, I know Dak's not going to play, so obviously I'm looking forward to seeing some of Trey Lance here early on in the preseason. And then this running back crew, like who are we going to see out there? Zeke it's not like he's a high-paid running back anymore. So, I mean, it's one of those things. Are we going to see Zeke? Is he going to play, or is whoever's considered the number one running back, is that going to sit out? I'm anxious to see this running back crew because I haven't heard a lot really about them, positive or negative. I do know it's going to be that running back by committee type approach with the Cowboys this year, but I'm also looking at the offensive line, right? So run game and offensive line kind of go hand in hand together. But, is Tyler Guyton going to get that start, or are they going to start Chuma? It's kind of been going a little bit back and forth with those two at the left tackle position. So the offensive line and the running game, to me, kind of go hand in hand. So I'm curious to see that. But, I mean, really just as a whole, I honestly just want to see what this team kind of looks like from the ones, period, even across through the defense, because I don't know how many of the defensive starters will actually get the start and actually play. Like, I'm sure Diggs is probably not going to go. But are they going to put Bland out there, or will they keep him in and they start some of these younger cornerbacks? So I don't know. I'm definitely Hunter will get 5 plays a game. I think that's Hunter Lipke we're talking about. And watch who plays special teams. Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing too. Are they going to have, is Turpin still the sole guy out there, or are they going to have other guys? So it's funny. I just got a text on my phone about the whole CD thing. There was an alert about their CD responds. LOL. It says national news, guys. Is what I'm talking about. But yeah, I mean, I'm just and the new when he says special teams, the new kickoff thing. I'm interested in that. I'm interested in seeing how that looks, how it breaks down, and who's going to be at that position. One thing I haven't heard anything of at all is Deuce Vaughn. I've got a lot of training camp updates and then looked at training camp videos and everything, and he's a name I haven't even heard a whisper about him. So kind of makes you wonder how that's going on there. But I was
going to say, Kelly, I'm back. I heard he could potentially be someone said a casualty. I was reading on our
casualty. Well, I haven't heard. I was just thinking. I mean, I haven't heard anything at all about him. I don't think I've seen any plays with him involved in the run game. I mean, I've seen Rico, I've seen Zeke, and I know they just brought in a new running back that they just signed just recently. Who was the guy? Was it?
They signed a running back?
I think they did.
I saw them sign a bunch of defensive linemen, which makes me think like that's what I don't know if you touched on that in preseason, but I really want to see this defensive line because
it's not a new sign. They were talking about Royce Freeman, which
they
said they signed somebody, but I heard something about Royce Freeman the other day that some positive things about him early on. So nothing at all about Deuce Vaughn at all.
Yeah. But I mean, the defensive line, right? We signed a couple guys, they got a couple more. I mean, do you see, that's something that's what I want to see how this D line looks,
Yeah. I was laughing at
be able to get some pressure and get some things going. What are you laughing at? What did you say?
I was laughing at Ultra. He said Deuce can't get on there because he's got a height requirement like a roller coaster. Come
on, man. Come on.
Come on, man. Bring your kid to work day may be over. Bring your kid to work day may be over. I had such high hopes for him, man. I really did.
Look at that. Wait a minute. Did you talk about that? George Teague, Jerry and CD's at odds. I mean, that's Teague's take right there. I mean, you got to believe that.
It's going to be it'll be interesting to see what progresses from that, right? If there's any more tweets from CD, if he elaborates. I mean, you think right now he's probably, as soon as he saw that, jumping on the phone to his agent?
But what do you do? I mean, and that's
no, I know. But I'm just saying, how is that perceived? Because we don't know how it's perceived, but how's it perceived by CD? Does he look at that as a slap in the face? Like, oh, really? Like, you know what I mean? It's going to be, I'll be curious to see how that shakes out. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, it's nothing. They'll still sign him. It's just normal contract negotiations. But you've seen in the NFL how things can go south very quickly, especially when it comes to, and I wouldn't consider CD diva, but as of late, like wide receivers, right? I mean, there's been some contract negotiations that went south with some guys. So I'm just saying, man, I don't know.
Well, now CD removed America's team from his bio.
Oh, Jesus. Seriously?
I mean, then it gets a little bit to be a little petty, right? Now are we getting into some petty stuff. So I don't know what's going to, I mean, I just got to think they get it. They're going to get it figured out. If not, I've done like 3 fantasy football draft orders, and I always tell them, make sure you take CD, number 1 receiver. I look like an idiot giving bad advice if he ain't, I figured he would be here by this weekend. Like I figured, all right, it's going to get done. It's going to get done this weekend, and he's not playing in the preseason, so it's not really. I maybe that's what Jerry's talking about, the urgency. CD's down in South Florida, of course. That's where the great athletes are. George Teague knows that because all the guys at the U, like the Miami guys in the 305, so he's hanging out down in South Florida. Looked like he's doing some running on the beat, doing some routes. I mean, condition. CD's always, in peak shape. So, he's going to be fine. He's not going to play in the preseason, but you'd like to get him there, right? Get with the group, get guys as a leader.
I would, and I'm still on the same subject as CD, but I swore that he changed his cover photo too. I swore it was the Cowboys before, but now it's him and Brown in a Oklahoma jersey. So I think he even took his Cowboys thing off of his background. I think so. I just had to double check, but yeah, I mean,
shots fired. Now, how do you don't put no upside down you on here. I'm telling my man George Teague this, and I mean it sincerely. It's going to happen. Miami is going to play Bama in the playoffs. Watch. I predict it. You heard it here first. And we are going to handle that business. And I will be sitting right next. I'm going to get me a ticket next to George Teague. I'm going to go buy me a ticket wherever it's at. I'm going to find him because I know he'll be there. And I'm going to be there to see the look on his face when Miami handles that business. So that's all I'm going to say. I got high hopes for my Canes. And I think Bama, they're losing a little bit of that luster with Nick Saban. Let Nick Saban leave, and I think there's going to be, I don't want to say bad days ahead, but I think they're going to fall a little bit. I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I was, not to try to take any kind of sides here, but I was watching Teague's, Teague had a little spot on the, new coach, and he actually got to ask the first question. He was one of the guys that asked the question down in the front, and he was talking about relationships that this guy's going out and building with a lot of the former to basically, capture and encompass, the history of the program, right? That's a history-rich program. So
Oh,
I want to establish the relations with, former players and stuff. So George got to talk to him, and he really likes the, the direction this guy's going, is how he's starting to build, try to quickly build and keep basically, that dynasty and that tradition going in Alabama, which, I'm either way, again, not taking sides, but you just think about it. I mean, Bama's been so dominant for so long that they're kind of like the Patriots, of college football. You know what I mean?
Oh,
for the longest time, it was like the Patriots were going to be in the Super Bowl. Kind of feels like the Chiefs now, right? That was Bama. You know what I mean? So for a Bama fan, if that, what the thing is, how long is the leash for this guy right here? Because I know for a matter of fact, from having connections over the Midwest, Nebraska, championship team, and then they got a coach that was winning them 10, 11 games every year, and Pelini, and they decided to give him to get him rid of him. They said they could do better, and they've been struggling ever since. I mean, they kind of just went down, and they've been stuck in mediocrity for a long time. So college football is it's a crazy cycle. So maybe the Canes are on the upward swing, and Bama's on the downhill swing. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, the thing you got to see with Alabama is, I think Saban, he knew the NIL, that game was not going to be his. He didn't want no part of it. That's my opinion. Maybe people disagree, but I think that's one of the main reasons he left. And I think if it gets down to money and this ends up being a, money driven, situation, Alabama's going to be in trouble. I mean, Texas, Texas A&M, you've got a lot of teams that got a lot of, they got a lot of money in the war chest. Alabama doesn't, believe it or not, as much as some of these other schools. And I think that's going to be a problem. The good thing with Miami is Miami's got the cartel and the drug money coming in from South America, that flood Miami. And so Miami's been very active in the NIL, the transfer portal, and they've been doing good, and you're starting to see that. So it's going to be interesting how the whole thing works. And speaking of, we've got a guest that should be lined up, and I'm still a little nervous about it because it's, there's a little controversy with Texas Tech, but we're going to keep it good. But I want to get Craig James is going to be hopefully coming into the cave, the Pony Express. He was part of SMU, Dickerson, James backfield. And there was a lot of stuff changing hands there, right? They got the death penalty. And how, how does it look now? Like, so some of those teams back in the day, and you see what's going on today. I mean, what are they thinking? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I remember
PG.
I am. I just, you're saying it, and I'm like biting my lip as you're saying it. I remember, it's funny because I think about when I think back to the kind of the SMU days or whatever that, I always think of the Eric Dickerson and the Trans Am, the gold Trans Am.
Yeah.
And because I had some family that actually lived, or went to high school, I should say, at the high school that he went to down there close to Houston. Tell him I can do my tech. Listen, I mean, I won't elaborate into the story, but I'll say for anybody who's in the chat, if you don't know who Craig James is, which you should know who Craig James is, just Google Craig James and Texas Tech, and you will know why, as a Texas Tech fan, there's not a whole lot of love, if any at all, for Craig James or his son. So that's just I will not bring up the Texas Tech thing, but I have it right here behind. I have the cut right behind me. I feel like if he sees the cut, he's gonna think, is this dude gonna bring up Texas Tech? Because I mean, it's synonymous. If you say that name to any Texas Tech, I'm talking about any Texas Tech fan, it is instantaneous, almost seeing red. How about the Cowboys?
I loved him on College Game Day. I mean, remember he was on College Game Day. I mean, I think his insight in college football is great. Plus the NFL. The one thing that I really want to ask him, he was on that Patriots team that went into the Super Bowl against the 85 Bears. So one, how bad, I mean, how bad is not bad as bad, but bad meaning good, like Run DMC said. I mean, how bad was that defense of the Bears? And then they were part of, the New England Patriots. A lot of people forget Miami Dolphins were supposed to be in that Super Bowl. I mean, New England was like a wild card team, and they get this upset. Miami loses. They end up going to the Super Bowl. And I mean, it's crazy because everyone wanted that Miami Bears rematch in the Super Bowl because Miami gave them their only loss. So there are a lot of interesting things to talk about. So we're hopefully going to get him locked in a few weeks. Another guest, I've kind of talked about it, but I think we're going to get him locked in too, is another great Cowboy from the past. You're talking about one of the best characters in Cowboys history. Thomas Hollywood Henderson is we're working, finalizing that to get him in the cave. I'm excited for that. Just a history with it, but he's got great stories to tell, and obviously he won the lotto a couple times. That's pretty cool too. So anyway, we've got some good stuff going on in the cave, which is more reason why you guys need to hit that subscribe, hit that thumbs up like button, hit the share, because we've got a lot of things going on. And when football season gets in full force, we're ramping this sucker up, and it's going to be on. So definitely check it out, and and see what's doing. So the other thing that we talked about the scrimmage. I'm trying to think, training camp, the preseason game. I mean, what's kind of everyone's feel? I heard someone saying, well, what are you guys thinking about the team? You're seeing the practices, you're seeing what's going on. Are you feeling better today than you did 2 or 3 months ago? Let's just say when free agency started. Do you got more optimism today, or do you still have the same questions, the same concerns, that I don't know if we're going to be that good attitude? I mean, I'd start with you, Kelly, and in the chat, we'd love to get your guys' opinion too.
Well, there's a few things that I feel a little bit more optimistic about, but ultimately right now, I still feel the same about this team I did to start everything, because I'm seeing some positives, which is a good sign, right? But how does that translate on the field? I don't know. I'm going to reserve and hold my judgment. I still think this team is a 10-7 team, and I don't know if that'll be good enough to win the NFC East. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, I think the Eagles are going to struggle some this year, but I think it's a 10-win team, and ultimately I haven't changed that thought. And I still think that unless things change drastically for what we've seen of this team, I don't think they go far in the playoffs either. But, what can start to change my mind is once we actually see this on the field, once we see some bright spots shine, once we see some of these guys get after it, we get a game or two in the regular season under our belt, so we can start to see the identity of this team. Then you really start to see, hey, we really are solid here, or you know what, we really are hurting here. We could have used an extra, guy or two in here. So I would say right now it's optimism, just because I have seen some things that do make me feel good, that make me feel like, you know what, maybe we're not going to be as I wouldn't say bad off, because 10 wins ain't. Maybe we're going to be better than what I anticipated, right? Maybe we'll be a team that maybe can go a little bit further in the postseason than I anticipated. So we'll see how that goes, man. But, there's good things. There hasn't been a lot of bad things. I haven't heard really about anybody struggling mightily. I mean, it's looked, pretty good for, week and a half in here. We can have 2 weeks in.
I mean, I look at it, and maybe I'm crazy, but I see the defense, and and again, you're only looking at they're practicing, it's about pads and all this kind of stuff. But I'm just thinking, what was this team missing last year? And I just think they were missing attitude, right? And I think Zimmer is going to bring that, especially on the defense. And could this be a defensive first team? I mean, could this team be one of those where, hey, offense, we're gonna we limit turnovers, and they didn't really turn the ball over much, but what I'm kind of getting at is play smart football on offense, work yourself down the field. We can be in a dogfight. Like last year, I don't think we had that where we could be in a dogfight, right? We get punched, then we kind of fold up. Where I'm thinking maybe this deep mental toughness, is that what that's the word I'm trying to get out. I think this team is going to have some mental toughness, and I think what Zimmer is bringing to the defense, and really you're looking at the linebackers. We kind of changed our whole linebacking core, and I'm just one of those guys that maybe because I've seen the Taylors and the Mike Singletaries and those guys, and they had Ray Lewis's, and it kind of started with the linebackers, right? If they had some real nasty Urlacher, some attitude, Kuechly, those guys, it was infectious throughout the team. And I just think that maybe that's what this team could be, is more of a physical team on defense. And maybe this offense isn't going to score 40, but maybe they're not going to be the top 5 offense. I think, they could struggle in the run game unless we get it figured out. The offensive line could struggle early on. But if the defense can continue to dominate and be more physical and be able to be that bully, maybe that's what the doctor ordered to get them in the playoffs and be successful. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, no. And, the one thing that I think about this team, and I actually was just reading Drew's comment there. It's a little bit to read, man, but I'm going to sum up kind of on what I agree with at the end, is that, maybe this team wins a couple of games, but it's more battle tested, and, mentally tough. And again, I think that if I feel like 10 wins, 11 wins, because he said 10 to 11, I'm kind of along that's my same feeling. But I feel like ultimately, if that happens with the schedule that we have to play, that this team is a little bit better, because I do feel, you look at the schedule, the Cowboys are playing some pretty physical teams. You started off week 1 with Cleveland, and that Cleveland's a physical team. Even when they've been bad in recent years, they are always physical. They have an identity about that team, and it doesn't really seem to matter who the coach is. It's just like, if you're going to play for Cleveland, you're going to be tough. You're going to be physical. Kind of similar, kind of like the Ravens defenses that are like that. You know what I mean? So, and the Cowboys play the Ravens. You know what I'm saying? So, like first 3 games, 2 of the first 3 games, you're playing 2 really teams that are known for physicality, being physical, out physical. So you're going to see a lot and learn a lot about this Cowboys team in the first 3 weeks, because Cowboys in the past have been a team that ain't done great with physical teams that come in there and punch you in the mouth and want to bully. Cowboys have had a hard time being the bully back. The Cowboys are the kid that's getting their lunch money taken from them in the past. That's what it's been the past couple of years. So most looking forward to, can Zimmer kind of change that? Did we draft a couple of guys here, add, whatever, or there's some guys that are going to develop an attitude, maybe even step up and take more of a leadership role. Somebody that was on the team last year that this year is like, you know what, we need to be more physical, and I got to get in somebody's ass to help make these dudes, because you're right, it is infectious. You see a guy out there, I always used to like watching Marion Barber when he'd go on one of them physical runs, bouncing off 2, 3, 4 guys and just plowing through somebody to get 3 yards. You know what I'm saying? 3, 4 yards and just barreling dudes. The offense just got hype, and you'd see they'd get energized off of stuff like that. So, players with that kind of energy is what we need. So, but I'm definitely excited, because like I said, I think we get a chance to prove that very early on in the season.
Yeah, and I hear the record, right? Could they win 10? They're going to win 11. As long as they win over 9.5, I win $100. So that's the first priority. They got to do that. But I think, don't get caught up in the record. And I said that last year, and then they had the same record. But they could be a 10. They could win 11 games, but they could be a better team. The schedule's a little bit tougher. They're gonna have some. Now they've got some tough games at home, which, if you really look at it, last year, almost all their hard games, except for really Detroit and Philly, which obviously they do 1-1, but some of those other games are kind of out of division games. They were all on the road. They got it right. The Bengals are at home. The Texans are at home. The Ravens are at home. So who do they got on the road? They got the Browns on the road that, I think they're going to catch the Browns probably at a good time, because I don't think Chubb's going to play, right? So it's still going to be a tough game, but I'm just saying the timing might be a little bit better for them. But they got San Francisco on the road this year. So they've got a few games on the road, but they've got some tough games at home, which hopefully with their history outside the playoff game, they were very good at home. You know, they played well at home. So hopefully that'll get them going. And again, if they win 11 games, I think they'd be better than a 12-win team they were last year. And I could probably even argue that on 10 wins that they were better. They're a better team than they were last year at 12 wins. So I want to see this team. What really would fire me up is just to see this team fight and be in some dogfight games and have to play meaningful games the last 4 games of the season, to where they're going in, you know, with a little juice, little mojo. That's what I'm kind of hoping to see. If you remember the game end of the seasons last year, it was some sloppy play. It was kind of, they played, you know, the Washington. I think it wasn't at Washington, it was the end of the year, and Washington really didn't give a shit, and we didn't really give a shit, and it was just kind of like that. I don't want to see that. I want to see us like in the Seattle game was a little sloppy that we went to. Detroit, we were jumping on them. We got a little sloppy there. Miami, you know, we started off good. I want to see good football in the last 4 games from all 4 quarters. That's what I'd love to see.
I agree with that, man. And, you know, I'd say the other thing is that, you know, the way that if this, you know, I've been thinking about this defense, you know, and talked about how good that I thought this defense I thought was good last year, but I've said it before. I thought they were often a little bit overhyped because I think we beat up on some bad teams, and I think that we struggled against the more physical teams. And then I've made it that, you know, over teams over 500, Cowboys defense gave up 30 points a game last year. That was just, you know, that's a fact. So that's not great. Because Dak always gets the credit for not playing well against teams with winning records. Well, this defense as a whole didn't last year. But if we can improve on this defense, because I did think this was a championship caliber-ish defense, if they could get some things sewn up and fixed. So if Zimmer can come in and do that, and this defense takes a step forward from what they were last year, and they can continue with what they were doing last year, then that's a scary defense. You know what I mean? That's a defense that can propel you and move you on in the postseason because, you know, it's what works in the NFL. If you've got a great defense and then you've got an offense that's more than capable of putting up points, then, I mean, because if you look at last year, man, and, you know, people will point to Dak Prescott's poor playoff start and the way that he started playing, and he did, you know, I mean, there's no excuse. Started shitty. I mean, I'm yelling at him, cussing at him, and what the hell's wrong with you, you son of a bitch? And so I know more than any. But if the defense would have been solid, if we would have had the Chiefs defense, we could have hung in that game, could have won that game, scored 30 points, scored over 30 points, you know, but we gave up 41. And, you know, I get in 48 total, Dak's responsible for that pick 6, but our defense just couldn't get a stop, period. And then because when we started going, they couldn't get a stop. So it's just the fact that if we can get our defense to play accordingly, like that, I think that they could play up to. You could see great things out of this defense this year. And this could be a type of team that maybe towards the end of the year, we feel really good about our playoff chances because that defense, we know what's going to happen week to week in this defense and who's going to show up.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is I would caution the Cowboy fans is like, don't get too crazy in the first few games, right? There's going to be some bumps. There's going to be some bumps in the road, you know, with the offensive line. There could be a few bumps with the defense as they kind of get things going. But what if they get off to a good start, let's say they went up 3-1 or 4-2. I mean, you got to be very optimistic that, hey, all right, this team's only going to get better. I feel if they stay healthy, the team's only going to get better because I think the offensive line is going to get better as the year goes on because they've got a lot of talent. It's just, all right, Guyton's a rookie. He's going to have some welcome to the NFL moments. Make no mistake about it. You just hope that maybe Zeke is there to kind of, you know, give him a little helping hand so Dak Prescott doesn't get annihilated. But that's just part of the game. It's part of being a rookie. I mean, I remember Larry Allen against Reggie White, and I think it was a Thanksgiving Day game, and Reggie White took him and flung him. It was rookie Larry Allen, flung him to the ground. I mean, that never happened again. Let me tell you, That never happened again. And obviously he has a Hall of Fame career, one of the probably the greatest offensive lineman guards in NFL history, let alone Cowboys history. But you do get that. I mean, Eric Williams had his share early on, and then he became obviously the most dominant, right tackle that we that we know. And I will make the argument, and that's another one. We are working on getting that man in the cave. He's working on as you guys know, they're doing a huge Amazon, I think it's Amazon or Netflix, 10-part series on the history of the Cowboys with Jerry Jones. So he's kind of in the middle of that, but he goes, man, I want to come in and ready to get this thing rolling. So hopefully we're going to get him in at some point, but I'd love to talk. He should be a Hall of Famer. I mean, I've seen these guys like Baselli and stuff getting a Hall of Fame with injured, career shortened. I mean, he should be in the Hall of Fame, but that's what I think you're gonna get this offensive line getting better and better, make a long, kind of short it up. And I just think they're gonna dominate as that year goes on. So,
yeah, you just got to give them patience. You got to give patience to some of these, like you said, some of these positions that are going to be, played by young guys. You're going to have some hiccups. You're going to have some hiccups. So, I mean, that is what that is. But I think that the Cowboys are good enough, and I think they have enough talent on this team to really ride out any of that and be able to ride through all that. I'll never understand the portion of the fan base, and trust me, there is some of them. Unfortunately, I've ran into them and talked to them on Twitter, and there's a portion of the fan base that thinks we're not going to be good this year. 7 games, 8 games. I don't buy that at all. I don't buy that for a minute. I still think we got regardless of what anybody says, I still think we got the best quarterback in our division. So I think that's automatically a leg up for in-division plays. If you have the best quarterback, I still think they're going to sign CD, and I think our wide receiving crew is actually going to be very solid. I think, I'm interested in the running back, how that's going to look. I was talking when you went off air and talked about how I'm going to be watching the running game in the preseason. Yes. Right? I want to see what it looks like. I want to see who they roll out as the number one, because that may not necessarily be the number one in week one. And I talked about, I wonder if Zeke's going to play, right? He's an older guy, but he's not your high price veteran.
So you're talking like preseason with the running game. Who do you think's going to play? Like
I don't know, because I was thinking, I was like, okay, would they play Zeke? He's a little bit older, but he's also not your star running back. Do you want to see it all what he's got, or you're just like, I don't need to roll it. I mean, I'm wondering if they give Zeke preseason snaps, just because it's like, if, not to be cruel here, but if Zeke went down in preseason with an injury, it's not like you lost a huge piece off your team that's going to make you. That's just telling the truth. He's not going to make or break our season. So I don't know if you see that. But if Zeke don't get at the start, you'd have to think it'd be Rico Dowdle that's your number one that you're rolling out there as one, because Zeke, we know. Dak obviously is not going to play in any of these preseason games. It'll be interesting.
What do you think about that? And really in the chat, because there is a philosophy that's different. Patrick Mahomes is playing. He's going to play 18 snaps in preseason, first preseason game. I think Peyton has, said his starters are going to be playing a little bit. There are coaches that believe in game reps in preseason for their first team guys. I mean, a guy like Patrick Mahomes, I don't think he needs, you know what I mean? But that's Andy Reid's philosophy, and he's always stuck to that. I mean, do you think that what's your take on that? Is the risk reward just too much risk?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I don't agree with. I don't think it's not necessarily a bad thing, because, I mean, look at what the season that Dak had last year with no preseason reps. I mean, did 4,000-yard passer, 36 TDs, 9 picks. Did he need preseason to get to that point? No, I'm just not that big of a believer. I don't like the preseason. I think the preseason is where you find out the depth of your roster. Honestly, I don't really think that any of the starters really have to benefit. You have joint practices and scrimmages like they had with the Rams today. You get some of that in there to sharpen you up. I mean, because the thing about it is, you can say, okay, well, I want to get my guy, shake off a little rust, just kind of get him going. Let's shake off a little bit of the rust. But I mean, if Patrick Mahomes tore his ACL in a preseason game, what's Andy Reid? What's the backlash going to be on Andy Reid if that happens from KC fans?
Yeah,
because I know if I'm a KC fan and Patrick Mahomes gets a season-ending injury in a preseason game, yeah, I'm flipping the fuck out. Yeah. I'm flipping out.
Well, I would say if you look at the Cowboys, right, the offense kind of not struggled, but it wasn't like, it wasn't a well, fine-tuned machine, and it took a couple games. And I think back to the Buccaneers when we opened the year with them, and we just played like shit. And they didn't play much better either. Neither one of us played the starters in preseason, and it just was kind of a funky game. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, because you see what they're doing now. They're doing controlled scrimmages. So like what they did with the Rams, they control that. The quarterbacks aren't getting hit, but you're getting some live action. You're just not hitting.
Simulation of live action, basically.
Yeah. And so teams are doing that. So I guess to your point of it, so do they really need it? Probably not, because they're getting those kind of reps because they're doing more scrimmages with a lot of these teams to where they can control it. But it's just a philosophy thing. And Andy Reid, I mean, God, they've won back to back, and I mean they're pretty much the most dominant team. And and it's usually it's a copycat league, but no, not a lot of people copycatting that one. They're still leaving their guys out, and they're trying to get an 18-game season to reduce preseason even more.
Well, I mean, I just like I said, I mean, if you're a KC fan and Mahomes goes down, I mean, how are you going to feel about Andy Reid? He's going to get massacred. He's going to get murdered, and by the media, by the fans, everybody. They're going to all call it the dumbest decision ever. You know what I mean? Because they've got a chance to three-peat this year. I'm not starting Mahomes. He's not seeing the field until week 1. I was going to answer a question though. Somebody asked if I think should Rush handle preseason, or do you think we put Lance out there and try to get a trade offer for him? Well, I think Lance is going to get plenty of opportunities. I mean, I'd probably be fine just playing Lance the whole preseason, honestly, but that's not going to happen. But I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I've said that. I made a tweet the other day that I'd play him the whole preseason, but I don't think that's going to happen. But I do think he'll get plenty of opportunities. I think he'll get the majority of the playing time. And I mean, if you can get a trade, if you're going to re-sign Dak and you don't have any plans on trying to, if this is not a project you continue to see forward in the next year if you're the Cowboys, then obviously you want to showcase him in preseason and hope somebody offers you at least 4 for him, if not a 3, maybe. I doubt you're getting a 3 for Trey Lance, though. I'm sorry, I just don't think it happens. But you never know. Crazier things have happened. But I want him to play well in the preseason. I'm not against him at all. I hope he plays well. If you're
I'm interested to see. So one quick thing, Mikey is on the Milton train. He was pissed that we didn't draft him, and he just wanted to say that Milton's better than May. I guess maybe Patriots are playing today, so maybe Milton's doing well. Drake May was only in like 2 for 3 or something like that. So we'll see what happens. Maybe it's because Mikey's Tennessee in his college football EA game. But this was interesting. So Chuck, we need to get you on YouTube. Slide over to YouTube, but you're on X, so that's fine. We definitely appreciate it. But if you're on X right now, at some point, go over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button. We have stuff we've been trying to give away all off season. We need to get to 3,000 subscribers. We're only like 130 away or 120 away or something like that. I know we're getting pretty damn close. So you guys have an opportunity, man. If you guys slide over there and hit that subscribe, we can get this thing rolling. But could you give me a ranking 1 to 10 how tough this team is? What I mean by that is no quitting, want to fight every effing snap. Do you want to go first? You want me to go first, or how do you want to?
Well, you go first. I'm curious to see where you're at. I already got it in my head. I mean,
if I'm being honest, if you're asking me today, I've got to go like a 4. And only because I can only go what I saw last. Now, I'm seeing some things to give me hope, and I think Zimmer's going to bring that and all of that. But I am right now, that's why I'm going to 4. So is that killing me, Kelly? Now I see Chuck said a 6. Mikey said a 6. We got another 6 by SoCal. So I look like I'm the Debbie Downer here.
No.
Okay, you're joining me. You're joining 3. The party a little lower?
3.
Okay.
I'm going 1 lower. 3. I didn't see zero toughness on that team. I didn't see anybody that was tough on that team. I got 3. I got one lower than Mike. 3.
But I think we can go better. I think we're gonna be better. But
I think at the end of the season, we're closer to the 10 mark. We're probably if we're a 6 or 7, 6 to 8 range at the end of the season. I think that's a hell of an improvement from what I saw last year. Because look, like I said, I just said it earlier. 30 points a game last year, this defense gave up to teams over 500. Look, they got bullied and beat when they played physical teams. Dude, Buffalo dog walked our defense. They made it look easy on our defense. Who on our defense did you feel confident that was going to stop anything they were doing? Who was that? Cook? Was it Zach? The running back for Buffalo last year that just ran all over.
Oh yeah, his brother, Dalvin Cook's brother. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there going, that defense from last year. I'm with you, Mike. I'm judging them based off last year. Yeah. Can they drastically change my opinion? Yes. And
I've got to see it. And sports fan Alex, if the question was, and I'll put it up again, is just a ranking of 1 to 10, how tough, not how good this team is, because I'm going to rank them a hell of a lot higher. Let's just be honest. They're higher. But I was asked how tough, a no quit, want to fight every effing snap. So the thing that's in my head is the defense. The thing that's in my head is CD getting hit in the back of the head.
And he didn't do nothing.
And not one person on the team came to his aid. Now, I understand why CD can't throw punches. He can't get kicked out of the game. But our 4th receiver, Jalen Tolbert, could have. And I'm not picking on him. I'm just saying could have been guys or whoever it was could have been could have handled that business. You know what I mean?
And I was just saying, and not even just that, but I'm just saying, like, okay, look if you were comparing Dez Bryant to CeeDee Lamb, if Dez Bryant got pushed in the back, I don't think he's going to throw a punch, but you think Dez is just going to walk away?
Yeah. No, Dez would have fought. Michael Irvin would have fought. Dez would
have went right at him. Yeah, he would have went right at him. And that's what I'm saying. I'm like, if who was that? Was it Malcolm Jenkins that Dez almost got into it with? Was it Malcolm Jenkins from the Eagles? And then he went to punch at him. He went to do this to see if he flinched, and then, like, he tried to see if Dez would flinch. Dez is like, no. But no, that's what I'm saying, though. It's that kind of mentality. It's the mentality of Dak Prescott sitting on the sideline with his glazed over look in his eyes, like the game is over. Yeah, it's like the game is over. It's like, dude, it's not even halftime yet, man. Get your head out of your ass. Get out there and do something.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, Ferguson, I think, is going to be that guy. Ferguson this year, he's going to be that guy. And I think, another question on Cooper Beebe, I think the future's bright for him, and I think it is. I think he'll probably eventually maybe be that starter, right? Starting center. But I think Hoffman's going to say, he ain't going to just give it up.
I love his attitude, Hoffman.
Yeah.
I love his attitude, man. He's got a lot of belief in himself. He actually dropped. It was funny. I've never seen an offensive lineman hype video. But
I saw that.
Yeah, he actually dropped a hype video, like a legit hype video of himself and some of the plays he made last year, which wasn't a lot. It was a pretty short highlight film. But, listen, hey, that's confidence, though, right? That's confidence in yourself. Like, he's letting people know, look, I got a taste last year, but I want more than a taste. I want my spot at the table this year. So, I like it. I do. I think he's got some attitude. I liked him last year when he got a couple starts over Biadasz. So, I don't know. I
think it makes us better. When you see that, when you see those guys, whoever the backup or the starter is, like I said, you go back to the Great Wall and you look, and I'm not saying they're the Great Wall, but I'm just saying when you went back there, they were 6'7" deep. People tend to forget, like Kevin Gogan, he was the 6th guy in 92. Then he became the starter in 93, but they used to alternate a little bit here and there. And so you want to have guys there that could step right in and if a guy goes down, that next man up. And I think with this offensive line, we really didn't have that. And I think we're getting that more and more. Now you got BB, you got Guy. I mean, you're getting, Richards, from what I, had some nice, moments in training camp. So he's getting better as a swing tackle for them. So they've got some guys. So I'm excited about the offensive line, because I think what you're getting is the changing of the guard, and they're getting younger really quick, to where, like, Zach Martin, was he, maybe a year, maybe two. Hopefully he's here as long as he's so productive and he's the Hall of Famer. And again, he's going to go down as one of the greats. But you've got youth there that, hey, maybe BB slides over to guard in a couple of years, then Hoffman's there, or vice versa, or Bass is there. So I'm excited with the offensive line. I think the offensive line is in as good a position as it's been in a long time. So it's
and I think it's good. It's really good. The Cowboys should be ecstatic, and us fans should be, that Brock Hoffman is showing up to be that guy right now. That's one less rookie you got to put out there day one, right? That could possibly make mistakes or be a liability on that offensive line. It's a guy that you can sit back there, give him extra time to develop, and and it gives you depth. Should you need a replacement, mid-season or something like that, or possibly at another spot. Cooper Beebe played guard in college. If somebody goes down, possibly, hopefully that doesn't happen. But if Martin goes down, I believe Beebe played the right guard in college. So I slide in there and play that should there be an injury. But it's good to have that depth and that development. So I like the fact that Hoffman is who he has been so far in this training camp.
Yeah. And hey, wouldn't we all love to see some Kevin Gogan energy on this team? I mean, that goes without saying. That goes without saying. And yeah, if we can get a couple of those guys on this team, then I got nothing to worry about. And where's everybody? See, the tailgate is going to be big. Baltimore, coming to town. We got the Cowboys Cave second annual tailgate party. We've got some great stuff. And one of the things, I know there's been some pre-orders already, but we've got this Cowboys Cave bottle opener. That is a Cuts by Jones special that you can pick up for $40. All the proceeds, every dollar of that goes towards the tailgate, helping with food, drink, and all the other stuff that goes with it. So it's an opportunity for you guys. I know a lot of people asked about donating. We don't require it, but we do appreciate it, because it does, help fund a lot of the stuff that we would like to do to make it first class. But this is an opportunity for you guys to get something and help out, but get something in return. Now, we're gonna have some other great giveaways, but that is an awesome thing that Cuts is doing, and he's doing it out of his own time and his own, his wallet too, because all the labor and stuff that cost him money. So it's really cool for Cuts to do that, to help out the cave. So you guys can message Cuts by Jones. You can message Kelly. You can message me. We'll have them there, and we're gonna make a bunch, because I told Cuts I'll get them. I'm a salesman, and whatever's left over, I'll sell that shit. And then the money goes to Cuts. It doesn't go to the cave no more. But it'd be kind of cool. I said it'd be neat. The people everyone at the tailgate, not just us, but have the whole tailgate, man, sign it. Sign it as a token and a memory that's hanging on your man cave outside your patio. Cold beers. It'd be kind of cool. So
you might want to.
I think it's awesome, man. I'm excited.
You might want to have them put their Twitter handle on it. That way you actually remember who it was, because you may not.
I know that's the only hard part.
No, I'm excited about that too. And Cuts got some great stuff together, man. So that's, it's for a good cause and a fun time. So, definitely to support the show. And Cuts has been a great sponsor for the show, man. And, sponsors some of the Cuts that are sitting behind us, from the Texas Tech to the Miami U to just so many other things, to the nameplates that we got above us, all that stuff. So yeah, Cuts, we can get you his info, or he can provide his info there in the chat. But he's definitely a value.
You're on Twitter. It's Cuts by Jones with Z's, right? Cuts with a Z, by BY, Jones with a Z. He's on Facebook. He's on Instagram. He's on X or Twitter. You can message him directly and just let him know. And like I said, we'll get him. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We're definitely excited. And the other thing we're excited, we do appreciate it, is any of you guys check out that app, Autograph. You can go to cowboyscave.com, check out that app. It's right here. It's very easy to do. Reference Mike Tag. They're partnered with the Cowboys Cave. That is basically a central hub for all your favorite teams and get all the information, the Twitter feeds, the podcast, all that stuff. And we're working on the Cowboys Cave to get in there. We just got to clean Kelly's language up when we do it. That's the only thing. I didn't want to break the news to him, but that's going to be the one stipulation. It's a family app. I'm only kidding. But go to cowboyscave.com and download that app, and then make sure it references. If you do it from Cowboys Cave, it'll reference Mike Tag on there. Just do that. It's an awesome app. Give me your feedback too, because they want to know what the fans think about it. It rewards fandom. So the more you use the app to go on and look for things, you win tickets, you can win memorabilia, you can win experiences, you can win all sorts of stuff. It's co-founded by Tom Brady. It is on the board of directors is Derek Jeter as an advisor, Wayne Gretzky, Tiger Woods. You're talking to the who's who in sports icons. So they have a vested interest to make it special for the fans and to give back. So definitely go to cowboyscave.com and take you 2 seconds. Download the app on your phone. It'll reference Mike Tag, and we'll get this thing rolling. So definitely check it out, man. It's really, really cool. Appreciate it, Chuck, for getting that done, and everyone else. I know some of you guys did that, so definitely appreciate it. What else we got, Kelly? I feel like I'm what was that? Little? Was that the guy? The guy, he was from Tampa selling all that shit. Tony Little.
Yeah, Tony Little. No, I was just hearing here while you got here and listening, and I heard my granddaughter, and I was waiting any minute for her to come busting through the door. I was going to say we may have a guest appearance in here.
That would be great.
I was going to
try to get my daughter to do it. Maybe we get your granddaughter take over. We can't do this forever. We got to have our.
Well, I will say this about her, man. She's already got the Go Cowboys down. Whenever she sees a Cowboys, whenever she sees the star, I've got it tattooed on my arm. She'll point to my arm. She'll be like, "Go Cowboys!" And she see me if I'm wearing a shirt, she'll be like, "Go Cowboys!" Like she sees it, she's Go Cowboys all the way. So I can take her out on the town. And she sees a fellow Cowboys fan. She's Go Cowboys already. So I got her.
Well, I got to get her dressed up in her gear, and you're going to have to record her in your thing. And that could be that'll be in our intro, when we redo the intro season, we have to do that. Maybe I'll get Eva to do something. There's senior year, do something, get a little family affair in there. We have to do something. That'd be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. That's a great idea. It's a great idea.
So they grow up.
I don't know if you got one for your daughter, but I had one for mine, and now I need to get one for my granddaughter because it's kind of it's a thing now. But I got her the little Cowboys cheerleader outfit when she was little because they sell them for the kids. The little Cowboy cheerleader outfit. So
I got a picture we'll share. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I got to get one for now. I had one for my daughter, and she had one. I had her a couple as she got a little bit older, but now I got to get one for my granddaughter because I haven't got one yet. But she's big enough now to where she could fit that, and she'd probably love it. So gotta do that.
Yeah, we talked about it. We talked about the contract situations. My 2 cents, and I'll let Kelly, wrap it up with that, is because we've kind of beat a dead horse with it. Dak Prescott's here. He don't care. I don't care. He's playing on his last year. He's betting on himself, which he should. He's not making it an issue. I think Dallas is playing with fire. They could get burned. If they don't get a deal done, that's going to be up to them, but no issues with Dak. Micah Parsons, he's still got another couple years, so I don't think that's going to really kind of steam up till next year. CeeDee Lamb is inexcusable. That's just I think it's absolutely asinine, and it makes zero sense why we're still sitting here today and he's not signed. We know he's going to get signed. Why the hell they keep screwing around with it and then saying shit in the media that is just unnecessary and distraction to a team that needs to be focused on winning a championship. I just hate distractions. I hate it. So that's my 2 cents.
I don't really have much to add on that. You kind of covered it. I feel the same as you do. I feel the CD thing should have been done. I feel what Jerry said today, regardless of how it was phrased. I feel like he replied the wrong way, and I feel like that might have added some fuel to a fire there, maybe it was just smoke and now it's turning into a fire. I don't know. I hope not. I hope I'm wrong on that. And just everything just kind of got blown out of proportion. But yeah, I mean, the CDDO should be done. Like Mike said, Dak's here. He's focusing on this year. And, the thing that I will say that's interesting to me, this is a branch off of this. We could go and, just kind of touch on this just a little bit, because I've seen it. If you see one rumor, okay, but then you see two things and then three things, and then you just it starts to become where there's smoke, there's fire. I've been seeing a lot of stuff about the Raiders having legit interest in making Dak Prescott their quarterback. And I even tweeted something out a few weeks ago, and it was just kind of a joke. It said, be prepared to watch Dak play for the Raiders next year, right? But I've really started to see this, though, because it be an actual thing. And right now they're saying that the Raiders are waiting to see if Dak Prescott signs a deal this season before they decide to trade Davante Adams, because they're considering, and again, I don't know how much credibility there is to that, but they're saying that they heard, or that they're saying that they're thinking about trading Davante Adams, but if Dak don't sign with the Cowboys, they're going to keep him, because they'd love for Dak to sign Dak and have him already a number one receiver, that's CeeDee Lamb caliber, to come in and just start right off the bat and have that offense clicking. I think there might be some truth to that. I think that there might be, especially if the Cowboys sign Dak and then you see Davante Adams get traded. I mean, then absolutely, I feel like was the move. So some interesting things kind of happening when you start watching that situation. I think he said Mad Dog on ESPN said it. So I mean, I think that there is some credence to that rumor. I don't think it's just all fluff. So it's kind of interesting on that. But like you said, I mean, Dak's here. He ain't worried. I ain't worried, but wow, if the Cowboys don't sign him before the season starts, then I don't think he'll be back next year if that happens.
No, he said there will be no negotiations during the season. He's focused on the season, so and he was pretty much straight with that before, and that's usually kind of like the MO. A lot of these guys, they don't really do the contracts mid-season, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And they're going to get it. If that happened, they're going to be in a bidding war. They're not going to be able to win. And maybe they're setting that up to save face, to say, hey, we tried. And
we offered. Yeah.
Because the Giants are another team. And wouldn't that be a kick in the, if the Giants end up going after them? So it would be. Oh, well, yeah. It'd be crazy.
I was just gonna say, I mean, that would definitely be a kick in the nuts if he went to the Giants. It'd be an even bigger kick in the nuts if he goes to the Giants with that young wide receiver crew they have that looks to be pretty talented. With the addition of Malik Neighbors, so for him to go to the Giants and then, heaven forbid it, my heart don't think it handle it, but fuck around and win a Super Bowl with New York.
God,
can you imagine that? Can you imagine how you would feel watching Dak Prescott host a trophy for the New York Giants?
Yeah.
I think that would be probably the worst pain I've ever felt in terms of being a Cowboys fan. And I've been through some pretty bad shit, man. But to watch Dak Prescott win a championship with one of your division rivals, oh man, that would stab in the heart. But
that wouldn't be good. And we'll touch on this quickly and then wrap it up. Did Romo take team-friendly deals? What's a team-friendly deal? I mean, at the end of the day, you could argue Dak gave him a team-friendly deal for the first 4 years of his career when he was making under $1 million or barely over $1 million as a starting quarterback, and go back and look at who they signed, what money they spent during those 4 years when he was making chump change. So I'm not a big, it's business. I can tell you, your boy right here is not taking a team-friendly deal at work. And I don't know too many guys that are going to do that. I'll be fair. I mean, I want what the market bears for my services. And I think that's what Dak wants. These owners created all that. It's up there. They've created this mess that they're in with all this money. But I promise you, if they're giving this money away, there's a reason why they're making a lot of money. You know what I mean?
Well, what I feel like a lot of fans don't understand, in my opinion, and I think it's pretty simplistic, honestly. I think if you know how the cap works and the quarterback contract situation, Dak ain't going to get 58, 59, 60 million because he's trying to say that he's the best quarterback in the league, so he wants the bet. No, he's the next quarterback in the league that's going to get it. I mean, right now, I think, the Jordan Love is currently the highest paid quarterback in the NFL with that new contract that he had. And Tua Tagovailoa is right there behind him. Now, did the Packers think they're not paying him that because Jordan Love's like, I'm the best quarterback in the league? No, we all know that. There's several quarterbacks in front of Jordan Love that are better than Jordan Love, even with some of the success he had in his first season. Great first season, but he's not the best, right? Tua Tagovailoa is not the second best quarterback in the NFL. It's just that if you have a franchise quarterback that can get you into the playoffs, which that's basically what a franchise quarterback, get you into the playoffs and keep you competitive consistently, then he's going to be the next highest paid quarterback. That's just how it works. So if you don't want that, well then, and you have a quarterback like that and you don't want that, I mean, it's the owners, like you said, that created that situation. They're the ones that created it. So that's the way that it goes. And Dak Prescott's a franchise quarterback, so he's going to be the next guy up to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL when he gets signed. And then the guy after Dak will exceed that deal. And the guy after that will exceed that. And that's just how it's been going. So it's not hard to understand why Dak's agent is asking for what he's asking, why Dak doesn't think he should get what he's asking. It's because that's how the contract situations are negotiated and how they're set up. If these owners wanted to stop it, should have put a stop to it a long damn time ago. It's too late now. What does they say? Pandora's out of the box. Can't put it back. Can't put it back in.
I've never seen anything of 70 million Dak's asking for.
That's not no 60. 60.
He's not getting 15 million a year more than what.
No, that's not true. It's 60 million is what people are saying. And honestly, I think Dak will end up signing close. Jordan Love's at 55 right now. I think Dak will be probably 57, 58. I don't even think he gets 5 million more. I think it's probably 57, 58, makes him the highest quarterback in the league, and he's happy. And they're happy. Everybody's happy except the people that don't want to keep Dak. But I think that's where it balances out to, in my opinion.
Yeah, and remember the cap and all the way the numbers work, it's a credit card. They can move it all around. So they could have signed Dak and CD in the offseason and created a ton of money that they could have used if they wanted to. I mean, that's all up to
it's kicking the bucket down the road. That's all it is. It's kicking the bucket down the road. That's basically what it boils down to. You're kicking the bucket down the road when it comes to the cap. You sign Dak and you sign CD, frees up a bunch of money. You can sign some other guys, and then they're like, oh, God, well, how can we pay these guys down the line? Well, the next year, the cap goes up again. And you also got guys that you can also restructure their deals again. And it's that cycle. And, the best teams in the league know how to manage it. And you don't see them worrying and wringing their hands talking about, well, do we have enough money to pay the whole team? No, they're going out and they're signing these guys. The Eagles go out and they get, the A.J. Brown.
And they got Hurts, right? They got Hurts, Smith, and A.J. Brown and Barkley. They got
and they're paying all those dudes top money. They're paying them all big money. I mean, so it's like you look at teams around the league, you're seeing it being done all the time. I mean, just stop telling me that it can't be done. Stop telling me it can't be done. That's not the reason why.
Yeah. Don't let the Cowboys play you for fools, because I'm just telling you, if they want it, it can be done, and there's ways to do it. So, I mean, leave it at that. But hey, man, we got 360 hanging in the cave. So that means, don't you think we should have like 360 likes? Should we,
360 likes.
You guys, it's the thumbs up. Don't be lazy. I tell you, so many people say, man, I forgot to like the video. It's right there in front of your eyes. You see that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up. It doesn't cost you anything to do it. Hit the thumbs up. It helps us out. It helps the algorithms. It helps get us more exposure within the community. That way people can find us, who some people still, I still get people today say, man, I didn't even know you had a YouTube channel. I didn't know you're hanging out with K9. I mean, what have I been? I said, we've been doing it for a year. What the hell you been? So make sure you guys definitely do that. And like I said, lastly, the Autograph app. You got the little QR code in there. You see it in the corner, but you can go to cowboyscave.com. We made it super easy for you. All you got to do is click on the link there, download it. I've saw a bunch of people downloading it tonight. I appreciate it. It's really easy to do. We have a goal. I'm trying to get to my goal, about 49, maybe 50 more to a goal, and then we're rolling it, and it's going to explode, and you're going to see us on there, bringing some entertainment, hopefully some hype videos and some pregame content or whatever the hell we want to do. So anyway, that's all I got. Kelly, you got anything else?
No, man. Just
it's not going to do a 1-year deal. That ain't happening.
I saw that. No, that's not happening. I was just gonna say, I hope everybody enjoys preseason football this weekend. Football is officially back, and I said something earlier on Twitter today about for the next 7 months, college football, NFL football is gonna fill our weekends. We're gonna have big plays and highlights and all that good stuff is all gonna be back. You got ESPN Top 10. It's gonna be full of football highlights. It's my favorite time of year, man. It's my favorite time of year. I love the summer, love to relax, love to kind of wind down from the season and everything. But I sure do love when football starts kicking back up. And you know what? We're getting a taste of it this whole week. It's like in the mid to upper 70s right now, which is typically we don't get that till September, but it's already here. So it's giving me a taste of like that football kind of temperatures and stuff. So, man, my blood's flowing. I'm ready to go. I don't care what anybody says, man. I'm always up for the season. People are like, well, do you think that they're going to go? Even if I don't think that we're going deep in the playoffs, man, I don't give a damn. I'm ready. Football is back. I get to root for my team. I get to yell and scream and cuss at my TV. I get to high five my boys. I get to go to the tailgates. I get to go to, it's that I'm looking most forward to. And I'm always hyped up to watch football. Always hyped up to watch football. I don't care if this is going to be a 5-win team. I'm ready for the season. I'm ready to represent. Mike's ready to represent. You guys are ready to represent. Let's kick this thing off with a bang.
Yeah, we're getting it going. So you guys have a great weekend. I'll keep you posted. You're gonna see a video. Maybe Kelly's gonna get a little crazy at a casino this weekend too. So hopefully, wish us luck. We do our own fundraising for the Cowboys Cave Tailgate Party. This is how we're gonna get it done. So you guys have a great evening. Remember, hit that like button on your way out if you haven't done it already. Help your boys out and make sure you subscribe if you haven't. Appreciate all the love, everyone hanging with us for an hour and a half. We're getting good at this shit. So have a good weekend. We'll see you later, man. Take care.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry.